going into the release of The Flash, hope sprang eternal. It's used phrases like, this is one of the greatest comic book films of all time. And to be fair, I saw the film quite early, and I love it. I love The Flash. As much as whatever I may think about Ezra Miller and all that nonsense, I loved the movie. I really did. But to call this movie a flop would be kind. It did not have a great opening weekend. I mean, the projections for the opening weekend of The Flash were already pretty low at about $70 to $75 million. And it came in even under those projections, making $55 million. But would it have speedy legs, quick little blur, flashy legs, and carry it on to maybe salvage a little bit of something? Well, the answer to that question we got this weekend, and it was a resounding no. It would not. As a matter of fact, Flash has now hit a historic drop, the biggest second weekend drop in the history of the DCEU. Now, listen, we've always talked about this. In a second weekend drop, right, you generally want to see between a 50 and 60%. Anything less than a 50%, popping bottles. Anything over 60%, you start to get a little bit worried, right? Well, the DCEU has already had kind of a rough history with its second weekend drop-offs. Here's the 5 biggest second weekend drop-offs in the history of the DCEU. Wonder Woman 1984 had a 67.2% drop-off. The first Suicide Squad movie in 2016 had a 67.3% drop-off. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice had a 68.4% drop. I mean, these are all horrible numbers. Shazam! Fury of the Gods, despite the fact that it only about made $18 on its opening weekend, still had a 69% drop-off. But the number one biggest second weekend drop-off was 2021's, a great movie, by the way, Suicide Squad. Of course, it released day and date on HBO Max at the same time as in theaters, but still had a 70.1% drop. Well, move over, because there's a new champ, brand new champ in town. And that new champ is, unfortunately, The Flash, despite the fact that it had a ridiculously low opening weekend for the movie that it is. Hey, listen, make no mistake about it. Many filmmakers would love to have a movie that opened to $55 million, but they're not making a $200 million comic book, tentpole film. Flash made $15 million on its second weekend, dropping 72.3%. I want to point something out. Elemental, in its second weekend, passed The Flash. Elemental only took a ridiculously low for its second weekend, 37.6% drop. Elemental, which opened the same time as The Flash in weekend number 2, has surpassed The Flash, ladies and gentlemen. It's surpassed The Flash. And by the way, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse jumped back into the first place position at the box office on its fourth weekend, pulling in another $19 million. Okay, so why is this happening? What's going on? I mean, we already talked about the fact that the audience has given up on the DCEU films. Blue Beetle looks like a very promising film. I'm very interested in it, but it's going to flop hard. Aquaman, the last one made over $1 billion, but it ain't going to make near $1 billion this time around. It's just not. Ain't going to do it. Not close. It could still be big. I don't know. We'll have to see what the previews look like as they start getting out, when they start rolling out the true marketing campaign and all that. The Ezra nonsense I think affected it to a very, very large degree. But this is infamy kind of numbers at a studio. 72.3% of a drop. And listen, we always talked about how tragic it was that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Black Adam never managed to hit $400 million. But guess what? Doesn't look like Flash is going to make $300 million. Who would have guessed that? Not me. I've said for a long time, listen, with all the stuff going on with Flash, I wouldn't be shocked. I said, don't be shocked, guys, if it opens to as low as 40. But I never really would have put money on the idea of this thing not even making $300 million. Just couldn't see it happening, and that's where we are. We want to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills and favorite streaming services, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much-needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. You guys know that ever since I switched to Mint Mobile, I've been saving almost 70% a month over my old phone plan. For people looking for extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating the traditional cost of retail, Mint Mobile passes the significant savings on to you. All of their plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone number along with all your existing contacts. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? This is now officially and historically the biggest drop-off in the history of the DCEU, a film franchise that has had many very big, steep second weekend drop-offs, and Flash has come in and passed them all. What do you think the main attributing factor is? Is it the fact that the audience really, truly had just given up on the DCEU? Do you think it has a lot to do with the whole Ezra Miller stuff? Do you think it was word of mouth? I mean, I think the movie was great, but I mean, it didn't get the strongest. It had its 60s. In the 60s critic review and the 80s audience review, but still, whatever you guys think about all this, jump on down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, but don't forget, we also have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today.